Hello, this is Danny Gamble. So it's Sunday and it is the day after, well, it must be July 5th, day after July 4th in America. I'm Canadian. Um, if you hearing me, it's a Sunday, just chilling. And an idea I've had for quite a while, but it's not the only one I actually have for that I think might make a difference to humanity. So who am I to say that? Nah, I'm nobody. That said, I'm still gonna make the tape and post it on YouTube. So that's 2020, Danny Gamble. And the first one's going to be in regards to the internet. Everyone, we got our YouTubes, we've got our Facebook, we've got our LinkedIn, we've got our Amazon. We've got so many great sites, and the problem with all these sites is that people post, and that's the whole idea, is that put information out there, and then of course they're held to account on them at times and sued or criticized, and maybe sometimes rightly so. You know, obviously screening what you have is an important thing to do. That said, I think I might have a solution for all those companies, and I'm been sitting on this for probably a year, and I'm sure the minute I say it and post it, someone else is going to think maybe that's a good idea, and they'll have better connections and they'll move it forward. So what I think I'll do is I won't post this up on YouTube for a couple of days, so that my date is still first. They physically won't be able to do it, or they can try to backdate it, but I don't think they'll be able to. Maybe they can, but mine will actually be posted. So if they're reading mine and decide to steal it, they'll hopefully have some problems with that. Now, am I doing this for any reason, like financially? A little bit, not a lot. I live in a basement suite. I'm 60 years old, just turned, and basically living in poverty, so I won't be able to ever retire. So yes, any one of those companies or all of them together, if you love the idea and you start implementing it, I'm sure you're going to adjust it and change it a little bit, and massage it so that you can say it's your own idea, but it's going to be my idea, what you're about to hear. And yeah, throw me a few coins, help the old guy out, and if not just for the reason that you know it actually came from me, possibly for the reason that I have some other ideas, and one of them, I have some of them are bigger, but one is much bigger. It's a bigger idea. It's a worldwide idea, and yeah, I think it might help humanity on a bigger scale, on a physical, actual scale. This one's going to help it on a perception. The idea of perception, and that's what the problem is. Donald Trump likes to say fake news. Well, yeah, I guess there's fake news out there, and then there's real news, and then you can muddy the water with fake news all the time. All right, so I'm 3 minutes into this, and it's time to get brave and throw it over the fence. My idea. It's so simple, but someone at one time, was it Columbus? I think it was Columbus. Christopher Columbus, the guy decided the world wasn't flat, or someone before him, but he took credit for it. Decided to just sail across and find out if you fell off the face of the earth, or if you made another place. Either you circled and came back to where you started, or you ended up in another place, which turned out to be America. Actually, it turned out to be the islands before America. That said, sometimes it's just having a thought that is correct that moves things forward. So here we go. I'm so nervous about giving it out and putting it on tape. On our internet, one of the problems we have is we all look at an article, a video, and we all wonder, is that true? And because we don't know, even if it is true, people could say, well, that's not true, it's fake news, and therefore it dilutes it, and maybe the substance, which is very important for people to know, is diluted, and no one really knows. And or they have an angle that it doesn't work for them, it doesn't suit their company or their greed, and so therefore they try to muddy the waters, intentionally so that people don't realize that, hey, this is true, and we should go in this direction. Same token of a good idea just sometimes is missed. Sometimes it is fake news. It looks so good, it's so colorful, it's so well choreographed, so well filmed, lots of money behind it, must be real. And it turns out it's not real, it's just that people had lots of money and they had an interest to have humanity view something a certain way, which benefited them probably financially, because it seems like everything always comes down to finances. Okay, so when you look at anything on a website, my idea is, let's go with, it's a basic idea, but it's something that can be done universal by all the companies. And actually, governments could demand they do it. And that would help the governments for kind of diluting fake news. There could still be fake news, so people that want to write something or say something that they believe, but maybe it's only 10% true instead of 90% true, they can still post it. But here's the deal. When we drive a car, I'm going to compare it to cars. When we drive a car, the cities would be sued for all the accidents at intersections except for they have a light. And the light is in law recognized as red, you must stop. So the people going the other way have the right of way, and if you run the red, you are the one that will be sued. The city won't be sued. The person T-boning you or you T-boning them won't be sued because they were going through on a green. Red versus green, you're in the wrong. Clear as day. Yellow, now yellow is to get through the intersection, which sometimes intersections lights aren't long enough, but which is wrong, by the way. And cities should stop doing that. They get money for tickets. But the fact is, the yellow, why it's still yellow, the other one is still red. So if they're entering the intersection just before the yellow or at the yellow, they will get through it at their speed before the other one actually has a green to start. Simple, right? Why don't we do that when we get government policy? You must. If you're a recognized, super legitimate company that's proven yourself, you can go yellow to start, because this particular article still might need verified. But if verified, you can go green. So news places, government announcements, a lot of those things can go green pretty quick. Start out yellow, go green. They don't even have to start in red. All people just throwing stuff over the fence that don't have a reputation, aren't known, haven't had a running historical history that gives them any credibility. They're new, but it doesn't mean their ideas are wrong. They will start out with red. Now, how do you do that? Well, that's where the different companies will do it differently, but maybe that should be mandatory too. You could have like in the bottom left, top left, bottom right, top right, you could have like a light, an actual light. And people can glance up at it when they're reading an article and go, well, that one's in the red, so they're not recognized. So this might not be legit. I need to investigate this if I believe in it and make sure it's legit. And if this company gets recognized enough times, or a person gets recognized enough times that they give legitimate stories, they're not finding fault with their stories, then they can be moved to yellow. Because it should always be yellow to start. There should always be a hesitation until that particular news article is approved. This will help the companies running the websites, because they will have time to verify. And if they can't verify, they'll just leave it yellow, or they'll leave it red. And you can read at your own discretion, knowing that this story has not been approved. You see green, you can have a little more confidence. Oh, it came from a reputable company. It's had reputable stories that have been approved over and over again. So we have enough confidence to give it a green. And if they falter, then there could be like a 1, 2, 3 strikes and you're out, and they're back to yellows and reds. So they could lose their reputation by posting stuff that they haven't verified or done their homework on. So, is that simple? Very simple. Now, how could they do it differently? Well, you could do the red light, actual red lights, make it a standard light. I like the idea of an actual light that you see the three colors, and you see the one lit up. You know that one's where it's at this time. But I guess there's other ways you could do, like a filter page where it's you see in the background right across the whole page, you see a red, or you see a yellow, or you see a green. That's another way of doing it. And then if there's a person that wants to post stuff that is constantly posting, you know, fake stories, you can even still let them post so that they can still have the access to the internet and try to communicate to the people they want to, but it'll be obvious as fake news, and then you could create a new color like purple or something, you know. And that could be the color that means that these guys are not recognized, the story is not recognized, and that the company has no responsibility for what you're about to read. The person reading it then has a direction. They realize this isn't necessarily a real story, but I still like the article. I still like that person, I'm following that person. But, you know, and then people that don't know that person come onto an article and they go, oh, wait a minute, that's susceptible. You know, take it with a grain of salt, whether it's true or not. But it's still interesting, I enjoyed reading it. That will take away the pressure for the companies. The stress will be gone, and I think the lawsuits will be gone too, because just like the lights at an intersection, they'll be able to say, no, we posted that person, we didn't know them, or that company, we didn't know them, so we posted them as a red to start. We had 3 articles from them on this, and we did some verification, we moved it to a yellow. And I would think a lot of the websites will almost never use green unless it's, you know, like a major network station that they truly believe in, or something that they've really done the research on because it's been running for quite a while, and they want to move that story up to where it belongs as far as authenticness. Sunday, I had to go over here. You know, this one's been approved more than 4 weeks in a row. It looks like it's, you know, a true story just carrying on. So therefore we can slip it into the green. You can continue reading with the updates, but still verify the updates. But it gives the consumer watching it, reading it, maybe reacting to it a basis. It's like, I'm coming up to a light. Do I have to stop? Should I proceed through? Should I be hitting my brakes because the yellow's been on for a while? Like, where should I be, and how should I be believing in this cross section of in the websites, in the story, cross section in cars, which of course is more dangerous, crash, versus, oh, I got fooled. All right, so I think I'll wait probably till tomorrow and try to upload this, and then I'm a Canadian, and living in Stevenson in Vancouver, BC, Canada, Charles Daniel Gamble, and yeah, I think that this, and I want to add, last little thought was, obviously these big companies, if you're wondering why you would even consider this, hopefully you got to this point, you don't miss this part. Well, why wouldn't you consider it? If there's legalities and precedents on stoplights, then I think you might be safe when someone tries to take you to court for something that's posted on your website that you posted, but you didn't, like your AI posted or whatever, and didn't recognize it as a false story from the way it was written and presented. But your color code told everyone to hesitate. It might not be real. Should stand up in court, and you could reflect to, well, it works at an intersection. They were told to stop, or the people were warned there's a red light, so they should be stopping. These people on our story were warned too. They were warned this isn't necessarily a real story, or it's a pending story where it's yellow. We think it might be real, but we're still verifying it, so it's not 100% approved by us even, let alone yourselves. So do your homework, we'll do our homework. Oh, this one's green. Well, we have pretty good confidence that this company, this person has been posting for a while now, and they post only real stories that they can provide proof that what they're saying is true. There you go. You don't get lawsuits. The public knows what they're watching. People aren't censored from posting whatever they want. Pretty good idea, eh? So I have other ideas, and I am living in poverty, so obviously if you use this and you think it's a great idea, contact me. My email is c_dgamble12@yahoo.ca for Canada.com won't get to me. and yeah, say, hey, we like your idea, we're going to implement it, and how can we help you out? And that would be great because, I'm not a greedy guy. I've got my other ideas I like to put forward. I'd probably go into politics. I like the movie industry, so I'll keep doing that. Maybe I can even finance doing my own little stand-up and stuff that I have a lot of stuff on. But basically, I can live out my life in not wealth. I don't want wealth. I actually don't want wealth, but in comfort and not a burden to my children and grandchildren. All right. Love to all. We're in the midst of COVID. I've lost 3 jobs right now. That's why I have time to do this. Um, and thank God Canada's got CERB right now, or else I'd be on the street, and third box over on East Hastings Street. Cheers.